All right, everybody, welcome back. Happy New Year. The 2022 deer season begins right now, or whenever it is that your 2021 season officially ends. Mine did here in Michigan on January 1st. I know some others across the country have already ended. Others are wrapping up here soon. Whenever your season ends, I want you to put in your head that the 2022 season begins immediately. And what I want you to start with for the 2022 season is a 2021 self assessment. So, like I have to do, many of you probably have to do self assessments and year end reviews and all that fun stuff for your day job. Let's do one for deer hunting, for something that we really truly are passionate about, that we invest a ton of time and money and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into. Let's do one and let's utilize it to better focus our goals and our expectations for the 2022 season. And you can tailor this however you want to. I threw up some questions you could ask yourself to kind of help just stir your brain. What did I do well? Where did I fail? What am I proud of? What worked? What didn't work? Whatever questions you want to ask yourself. I think the goal here would be to be honest, to set realistic expectations for yourself for 2022, and to focus on growing as a hunter. Okay. And that can mean different things to different people. So I'm going to give you guys my 2021 self assessment here. And I started basically with positives, negatives, goals. And I formed my positives as what made 2021 successful. So to start, I had the most buck encounters ever, bar none, period, across multiple properties, big bucks, small bucks, borderline bucks, whatever. I saw just a ton of bucks this year. I was able to specifically target a 3.5 year old. And this was one that from summer pictures, early fall, into the hunting season, into the rut, all that stuff. I was on this deer, and I haven't had that. I've had 3.5 year olds on camera before, but never to the level that I was focused on a particular buck. I got better at reading aerials and doing preseason scouting. I was pretty darn close with my aerial, scouting, as well as like one speed scout, hang cameras, kind of put a game plan together. Like I was pretty darn close on reading some new properties this year, and I was pretty proud of that. And that led to some instant, success, real time data, and being able to make adjustments. And kind of with that, being able to make adjustments, the next bullet point was I stayed mobile and more random all year. So I hunted out of a ghillie suit or a saddle pretty much all year, both public and private. And it was one, it was really fun. And two, it made me not be like, I'm going to go hunt this particular stand. It made me really break down my most recent intel, be it sightings, be it trail cam pictures, be it scouting from my truck in the mornings, driving to work with binos, all that kind of stuff. It made me set up however I needed to based on the most recent intel, and that ultimately led to some awesome encounters. Um, I passed on my biggest buck ever this year. That's the one in the picture here that you see. Late muzzleloader season here in Michigan, a buck I would definitely shoot. I thought he was a borderline, maybe 2.5, maybe 3.5, but he was broken up. So I let him go. Definitely the biggest buck I've ever passed on here in the state of Michigan. I actually passed on him twice, and I know he made it. So I'm really excited to see what he looks like next year. I got my biggest buck ever on trail cam picture. And I mean, this is like biggest buck by a long shot ever on trail cam picture. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to show you guys that because for Michigan, this is a slammer. So that is mine to keep, but just know he's a monster, and I hope he made it too because I'll be real excited if he did. And I never gave up. I had some ups, I had some downs, but I stuck to my goals. I stuck to my plans. I ultimately harvested 2 deer, 1 buck, 1 doe, which was awesome. And I did it by just grinding. So I was proud of myself for that. But there was definitely areas where I fell short in the 2021 deer season. Basically, where I failed. First and foremost, that 3.5 year old that I was on, I screwed up. I just straight up screwed up on the best hunt, the best strategy that I've ever put together. I ended up just grazing this deer on his belly, and he lived. I know he made it, or at least he made it from my wound. I got pictures of him 3 days after hitting him. But basically, I put a 6.5 hour on the ground, crawling in the swamp, getting into his bedding area, hunt together, and got a 30-yard opportunity. And I don't know if I deflected off some cattails or if I just straight botched the shot. But either way, I let an arrow go and I hit him and I didn't kill him. So I was pretty disappointed in myself for that because that would have been the absolute pinnacle of my deer season, executing that hunt, that shot on that buck. I did everything right but the shot. I didn't invest enough on public land. I need to do a better job at that because some of these private pieces that I now have access to, they're no guarantees. And I definitely missed some opportunities on public land based on some trail cam pictures that I just got back the other day. I should have done some more on public. And I banked too much on the rut. I had some really good recent intel in early to middle October that I should have capitalized on because once the rut started, even though I had some great hunts, um, things were random like they are a lot of times during the rut. Bucks are running around all over the place chasing does, and I should have hunted some of the deer that I was targeting while they were on a more predictable pattern in October, and I didn't take advantage of it. I need to be better at complete practice setups, or complete setup practice, I should say. That's not just shooting in the backyard and feeling confident, that I can hit targets at 30 or 40 yards. That is wearing my ghillie suit, getting in awkward positions, doing different things in my saddle in different trees and things like that. Now that I have confidence or I have proven this setup, I didn't prove it out enough early in the season, and I kind of got into some situations where shots or potential shots would have been uncomfortable. So I need to do a better job of just complete setup and not just shooting, setting those setups up, like how to climb my tree, what to do first, where to put a climbing stick or a saddle platform, or how to be comfortable and set up where I'm well camouflaged and have good shot angles with my ghillie suit. Things like that. Just complete all around setup practice I need to do more of. I think I need to kill a doe early because I didn't this year. And I didn't because I had quite a bit of venison left over, so I didn't have to. But normally I kill at least one doe early in the season. And that really, I realized this year that really helps kind of get the monkey, get the pressure off my back. Watch an arrow go through a deer as a confidence booster. Overall, I think that is a very positive thing, at least for me. And I didn't do it. The first arrow that I let go this year was on that big buck. And I think having seen an arrow go through a deer, have a deer in the freezer type of thing, I think would have helped me just mentally be ready for that big buck encounter. My property as a whole, it was a little below my expectations, especially compared to last year. So I need to revisit some things and do some better things there. And I didn't take anyone new this year out hunting, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for that. I was very focused on my individual goals. And even though I took someone out turkey hunting in the spring that is a hunter but has never shot a turkey, I didn't take just a straight green newbie out like I normally do and that I normally take pride in doing. So I'm a little disappointed in myself for that. So where my goals are then for 2022, based on both positives and negatives, positive side of things, I want to find more good private land like I did this year. That was super fun. I did a really good job, I think, breaking that private land down and learning it and getting opportunities on it year one. And obviously, cross my fingers I can hunt it again next year. I learned a lot and I learned a lot quick, and I want to be able to replicate that with some more private land opportunities. But on the flip side, I definitely need to invest more in some of these public land spots that I have just kind of scratched the surface of and have a lot of opportunity. And kind of with that, I need to get better at reading in season sign. So I'm pretty good, I feel like, at reading out of season sign or preseason scouting sign and finding bedding areas and kind of figuring some things out there, but really honing in on that fresh in season sign, I just don't think my growth level is there for that. Like I said, I need to perfect my setups. That is the complete setup. That is the weapon that is elevated or ground, ghillie suit or not, saddle or not, whatever. I need to really focus on setup perfection, scenario perfection, and practice those things so I'm better prepared for more scenarios when I'm in the field. on my particular piece of property that I own, I think I need to create more cover and more diversity on my property. It still is just too open. That is kind of evident based on what I saw on my property versus what I saw on other properties that were thicker and had more diversity and things like that. There are definitely opportunities to be had on my particular piece of ground that I own. Again, I want to shoot a doe early next year, maybe more than one. Get my freezer fillers in early, get that confidence up, monkey off the back, watch an arrow go through a deer, all that kind of stuff. That needs to happen for me early, and I think that will kind of help. I put ice in the veins. Like I need that mental edge. Like I felt like I had it, but when it came time for like my big moment of execution, um, I failed. And granted, I redeemed myself with a buck a couple weeks later in gun season and a really good hunt and shot on a doe. Like I didn't fail at everything, but I the pinnacle of my season I failed at. And so I need to restore and figure out what I need to do mental edge side of things to get that ice back in my veins. I need to take a newbie out hunting. I do. I really do feel bad about that as someone that really prides themselves as promoting the sport and promoting new people getting into it. I failed the sport this year and didn't take anyone out hunting. So I need to do that. I need to put less pressure on myself because I did put quite a bit, and that pressure just escalated as the season went on. And I need to just straight up, this is a very generic statement, but I need to learn more about deer. I felt like I definitely learned more this year, but that is a never ending thing. That is going to be on my list every single year. Learn more about deer, learn what they're doing and why they're doing it, and use that to my advantage for the season that I'm in or the next season. So bottom line, you guys, I tried to not talk much about what I harvested because to me, growth as a hunter means more than just the meat and the bone that you're pulling out of the woods. It can mean whatever it wants to you, but to me, there are a lot of aspects to being a better hunter than just what you kill and just being able to post the biggest buck on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Um, Focus on those type of items, whatever it is that you want to grow at, and think of your hunting career kind of like this chart or like the stock market. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have great seasons and you're going to have maybe poor seasons, but if every season you grow in some way, your trend is going to be just like the stock market. Even though there's ups and downs, that trend line is going to always be going up, and that is ultimately going to lead to more success and more of the things that you want as a hunter and advancing and growing your hunting career. So that is how I think you guys should start your 2022 deer season. Self-assessment, be honest, make realistic expectations, and really truly dig down deep into what growth as a hunter means for you. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button down below and also be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing a part 2 of your deer season starts right now for 2022, focused on preseason scouting. So be sure to catch that. And thank you all again for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.